Hi guys, today I will be ranking Singapore school subjects. Let's jump right into it. First off we have FCE. I have no idea what this is. Wow, great start to the video. FCE goes straight into IDK tier. Next is Physics. I don't really have any strong opinions on Physics. I guess it's not as boring as some of the other subjects, but I do remember playing Brawl Stars under the table during Physics in SEC 3, so it still must have been somewhat boring. For some reason I was also quite bad at physics, like I had trouble understanding some of the concepts, especially the electromagnetism one or whatever it was called. Overall, mid subject and goes into low B tier. Oh yes, next is the infamous mother tongue, specifically Chinese. If torture was a school subject, it would be called mother tongue. I legit don't think there was a single lesson where I understood or cared what was going on. I was also plagued with weekly Chinese tuition from like K2 all the way to Sec 4. And I still got D7 for my I levels anyway. Chinese gets a D tier for D7. Next is drama. I barely remember doing this in primary school. Waste of time and useless, but in primary school we didn't take anything seriously anyway. Drama lands right in the C tier. Next is the GOAT recess. A well-needed break between lessons, recess has saved me on many occasions. 30 minutes is also just the right time to get a short nap or snack without it feeling like it's too long. However, lunch on the other hand is not as good as recess. I didn't have many friends, so I would just sit alone in class or the canteen waiting for it to be over. Overall, recess/lunch goes into high A tier. Next is maths. Maths is just meat. There is something enjoyable about the problem-solving aspect of it, but I also get flashbacks to some of the most boring, sleep-inducing lessons of my time in school. I would say it's quite a useful subject though, so I would put it in the B tier. Next is music. I was so bad at music. I remember in primary school I would just sneak out of the music room and run back to class like I was some sort of hooligan. And IDK about you guys, but I just didn't have any rhythm. Pretty useless to me, so I would put it in C tier. OMG, next is one of my most hated subjects, English. I just thought it was so freaking useless, guys. I think my English would have improved more if I spent all that time reading books or something. And I hated doing all those presentations and debates cause I am a shy person. Congrats to English for joining mother tongue in the D tier. Next is science. I will treat this as the science subject in primary school. I would say the subject itself is pretty interesting, but the marking system is stupid since all you have to do is memorize keywords. I also don't remember anything in those lessons because back then I was pretty retarded, not gonna lie. Science goes into high B tier. Next is the legend, PE. The only subject that I would look forward to in my entire schooling career. I love playing sports in P.E, especially soccer. But there are also some completely useless lessons like health theory lessons and height and weight taking. Like bruh, no one cares about those. In JC one of the sports we played was handball, and no offense to handball stands, but I hated that shit. I was so bad at it and I was scared of someone throwing the ball at my face because nothing is stopping the opponent from doing that. And my crush was also at those lessons watching me get humiliated. Crying emoji. But P.E is our first S tier anyway for being a legend. Never heard of DNT in my life. Goes straight into IDK tier. Next is art. I suck at art so much bruh. And some of those lessons where we had to learn art history was utterly useless, NGL. And we didn't even get to learn actually useful things like anatomy, proportions, perspective and stuff. But it was a chill subject, so it goes into B tier. Next is project work. Not really a subject for me, but whatever. I did do a research project for a science competition in JC, but I didn't win anything, so it was a complete waste of 9 goddamn months. But at least it gave me an excuse to not look like a bum staying at home all the time, so I think it deserves a low C tier. CCA is next. There were some low lows and okay highs for me, guys. At the start of sec school I joined a uniform group and holy shit, it was hell. Every session we would be doing drills and shit, and every night back home I would be stressing out about the CCA. Anyway, I quit after 1 year and it was like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Then I joined a sports CCA, and although I was pretty trash at it, it was still fun and I would actually look forward to it. CCA goes into low A tier. Next is Econs, aka the king of boring subjects. There wasn't a single lesson where I wasn't yawning. Honestly, I think the subject is moderately useful, but I am not really sure how to apply it in real life. Also, this is unrelated, but there was one time we had a closed book test, but we were allowed 1 sheet of paper. So I thought I was being smart and spent 1 entire day copying the entire notes onto 1 sheet of paper, and lo and behold, it wasn't even tested. Wow. Econs deserves a high C tier. What the hell is POA? Straight into IDK tier. Next is literature. I didn't take literature because, as I have mentioned before, I hate English and literature is basically English Pro Max. Now for social studies. I only remember taking this in primary school and honestly it was pretty fun and chill. I learned more about Singapore's history and there weren't any tests. Social studies also taught me that Sang Nila Utama is jack as hell. Social studies deserves a tier. I never took history but from what I saw it was pretty shit and GL. It was all about essay writing. Lucky I didn't take. Now for third lang. Personally I didn't take it but honestly I recommend that you guys take it, especially in the lower sec years where you are not doing much anyway. It's a good way of meeting new people and you get to learn another language of your choice as well. Next is higher mother tongue. I didn't take it but if I did it would be in D tier. Now for chemistry. Chemistry is a pretty meat subject. On one hand you have practicals which are kinda fun but on the other you have some of the most dry lessons ever. Overall I would say it's the best of the three sciences. Now we have the god of memorization subjects, biology. I would never wish the hell of studying for a biology test on my worst enemies. I remember staying up to like 3 or 4 AM before a test just to memorize the shit out of my notes. I feel like the subject itself is interesting but the way it's tested is brutal. Also, biology tests are a way to identify who the nerds are because those are the people willing to spend time memorizing everything. However, if you are just studying it for the love of the game it can be quite an enjoyable subject. Overall, I would put it as low B/high C tier. Last but not least, we have computing. I suck at computing. I remember getting 2 out of 4 for my first Python assignment. This was one of the few subjects where I was shit at even though I studied. And as time passed I realized there was no way I was catching up to the computer nerds who started coding when I was still playing with Legos, so I just dropped it. That's the end of the tier list. If you have any pressing issues with my list, e.g. you love Chinese for whatever reason, be sure to comment below. Otherwise thanks for watching and please subscribe. Bye.